A single stick figure sitting on a chair in an empty room, head down, surrounded by faint outlines of other figures turned away from them. Soft pencil shading around the lonely figure to show emotional isolation. Have you ever been ignored so completely that it felt like you didn't even exist? You send a message, no reply. You walk into a room, no one notices. It's not just silence you feel, it's rejection disguised as emptiness. That moment doesn't just hurt your feelings, it messes with your sense of worth. Because deep down, being ignored feels like proof that you don't matter. But here's the truth. There's a deep psychology behind it. And understanding it can change how you handle it forever. Most people think being ignored means something's wrong with them. That they're not interesting enough, not good enough, not seen. But what if I told you sometimes silence says more about the other person than it does about you? Let's talk about what really happens when silence hurts, and why being ignored can break even the strongest minds if you don't understand what's going on underneath it. A stick figure holding a phone with a small chat bubble containing 3 tiny dots, typing indicator, but faded out. The figure's face shows disappointment or confusion. Empty background to emphasize the feeling of waiting. First, silence triggers the same part of your brain as physical pain. Yes, really. Your brain doesn't just register words, it registers connection. When someone cuts you off, ignores your texts, or acts like you don't exist, your brain interprets it like a wound. It's not just feelings, it's biology. That's why it hurts so much, because humans are wired to belong. You can survive hunger or exhaustion, but emotional disconnection feels like starvation for your soul. And here's the twist: your brain starts blaming you for it. You begin to think, maybe I said something wrong, or maybe I'm not good enough. But silence doesn't always mean you're the problem. It just means they've disconnected, and your mind is trying to make sense of the gap. Stick figure clutching their chest with a cracked heart drawn faintly inside. Around the figure's head, small jagged lines indicate emotional pain or overthinking. Slight shading around the heart area to emphasize inner hurt. Second, people ignore what they can't handle. Think about it. Some people go silent not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to care. Maybe they're uncomfortable with emotions. Maybe they fear confrontation. Maybe they don't know how to deal with your energy, your truth, your intensity. So they run. They hide behind silence because speaking requires honesty, and honesty can be uncomfortable. Sometimes their silence is protection, not rejection. The problem is your brain doesn't see it that way. It takes it personally, and before you know it, you're replaying every word, every message, every look, trying to decode something that might have nothing to do with you at all. 2 stick figures, one reaching out, the other walking away with a hand half raised, looking uncertain. Use simple motion lines to show distance growing between them. Third, being ignored activates your survival instinct. When you're excluded, your body goes into defense mode. You start to overthink. You want to fix it. You crave validation. You might start chasing the person who's ignoring you. Texting again, explaining yourself, trying to prove your worth. But here's the harsh truth: the more you chase, the smaller you feel. Because every time you beg for attention, you hand over your power. And that's exactly what breaks most people. Not the silence itself, but what they do in reaction to it. You start losing yourself trying to be seen by someone who's already decided not to look. A stick figure chasing another who's walking away calmly. The chasing figure's body is tilted forward with small sweat marks, symbolizing desperation. The walking figure's outline slightly fading, showing emotional distance. Fourth, silence is also a mirror. It shows you what you expect from others and what you're willing to tolerate. Sometimes being ignored reveals your deepest need, the need to be validated, accepted, loved. And when that's taken away, you finally see how much of your happiness depended on someone else's approval. That realization can either destroy you or free you. Because once you understand that you don't need their response to have value, the silence stops controlling you. You stop waiting for a message that might never come. You start hearing your own voice again. Stick figure looking into a mirror. Reflection shows the same figure, but standing tall and confident with a faint smile. Soft glow lines around the mirror's reflection side. Here's the truth nobody talks about: silence isn't always rejection. Sometimes it's redirection. Maybe you're being ignored because life is clearing space for better energy, better people, better alignment. Maybe the silence is a test, not of patience, but of power. Can you stay calm when someone else withdraws? Can you keep your self-worth when no one's clapping for you? That's emotional maturity, learning to find peace even when there's no reply. Stick figure breaking thin chains or ropes around their wrists, small motion lines showing release, expression relief or calm determination. So, what do you do when silence hurts? First, don't chase, protect your energy. Second, observe, don't assume. People's behavior says more about their inner world than your value. Third, respond with self-respect. Sometimes, no response is the response. And finally, grow through it. Use the silence to listen to yourself, not to the noise of rejection. Stick figure sitting cross, legged under a rising sun, eyes closed, with relaxed posture. Background simple, maybe faint mountains or a horizon line. When you're ignored, you have two choices: crumble or awaken. You can keep replaying the pain, or you can realize that silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. It teaches you who's worth your time, who values your presence, and who was just filling their own void. Don't let someone's silence silence you. If you're feeling that sting right now, remember this: you are not invisible. You are not less. You are simply in a season where the wrong people can no longer see your worth. And that's not a loss. That's a filter. Because the right people will never make you beg to be heard. So take this moment, breathe, and let the silence speak. It's not there to break you. It's there to show you how powerful you become when you stop needing to be understood by everyone. If this message hit you deep, don't just scroll away. Take a second to reflect. Who are you still chasing that's already gone silent? And why are you giving them so much space in your mind? Comment your thoughts below. I read every one. And if you're ready to stop letting silence define your worth, hit that like button, subscribe, and keep growing with me. Because the world might go quiet sometimes, but your inner voice, that's where real strength begins.